Hey, it's Jackson from Mix 1051. I'm here with my friend Steve from Zabriskie Law, 888-ZABRISK or Zabrisk.com in case you ever find yourself in trouble. Thanks for coming in, Steve. We appreciate it. So I guess I want to start by saying, when you watch like Law and Order SVU or something, you always see the criminal defense attorney as like the slimy guy who's getting murderers off for nothing. But there's a lot more to it. There are a lot of people who are either wrongly accused or maybe you just made a bad decision. What good can a defense attorney do for people who are normally like good law-abiding citizens that may have made a mistake?
Well, we do that all the time. Sometimes it's the stay-at-home mom who's taking her anti-anxiety, her prescription, and gets pulled over and all of a sudden is charged with a DUI. Or it's a dad.
Whoa, hold on. You can get a DUI from like an anti-anxiety medication?
Absolutely. We've seen it numerous times.
Any prescription?
Certain ones. Typically most of those prescribed for anxiety and depression fall into that category that the police end up charging for, will inhibit the driving and could make you impaired. Is their belief.
Okay. I guess I'm just curious because I've never heard of like an antidepressant impairing your ability to drive. Is there like scientific backup to that, or is it one of those things where, oh, they didn't see you signal when you turned and now you have a DUI?
Typically that's where it starts, is you didn't signal and now all of a sudden they pulled the mom out. They're running through the field sobriety test, and the field sobriety tests are tough to do. You got somebody who's never been put through it on the side of the road, stressed out, trying to do these tests, and they bomb them.
So what goes into a sobriety test, I guess, is my question. Is it alphabet backwards, touch your nose with your fingers, or?
The three standards are the horizontal gaze nystagmus, which is typically they use a pen or the officers will use their finger, hold it 12 to 15 inches out from the individual's face, slightly above eye level, and make passes back and forth in front of their eyes. They're watching for their eyes to make jerky motions.
Okay.
There's that one. And then the 9-step walk and turn, where they have them stand feet together, feet one in front of the other, walk the line, turn around, series of small steps, walk the line, 9 steps back.
Yeah.
And then stand on one leg raised up.
I can't do one leg by myself on a regular good day. So you're saying I have depression. I take my antidepressants so that I can get up and function.
Right.
I'm in my car. I didn't signal, and all of a sudden I'm expected to stand on one leg. I can't do that. And then I have a DUI.
Sure. We get officers who say, hey, have you taken any medications? And, these people will say, well, sure. I took my Celebrex or whatever it may be. Yeah. And the officers, oh, well, we better have you get out and perform some field sobriety tests to make sure you're okay to drive. And these people don't do well.
Why don't doctors tell you that could happen? That's crazy. I've never heard of this.
Well, most of the bottles say, you should. Some say avoid driving until you know how it affects you. Many people, they've been taking it for quite some time. They know it doesn't affect their driving.
Right.
But most people can't do these tests on a good day.
Right.
Under the most pristine circumstances in a building without all the stress of doing it on the side of the road with traffic zooming past.
Right. Okay, so let's say you do get pulled over. Are you required to submit to a sobriety test?
So now the field test that I described, technically you can say, no, I don't want to do those.
Yeah, I'm in heels. I'm not interested. Thank you.
Yeah, and the officer say, well, you can take your heels off and do them barefoot, but you can say no.
No, it's dirty.
And the officer can still ask you to submit to either a breath, blood, or urine test. And
they can just take your blood on like the side of the street?
They'll take you down to the jail and get a forensic nurse to come and draw it. It's going to be clean, theoretically, and then get a result and see how much of the medication was in your system. And the Utah State Toxicology Lab gives us levels, whether you're below the treatment level, you're within treatment range, or if you've been abusing the medication, it'll say you're in the toxic range.
Right. Okay. So, and at this point, your kids are not going to school that day, because they're in the back seat while all this is going down. Do you do you have to go down? Do you have to submit to these tests, I guess, is the question. Like the actual blood test, the urine test.
You don't have to. Utah, when you get your license, is an implied consent state. So when you get your license, you are giving implied consent that you say, I will submit to these tests if requested. You could say no, but you would get your license revoked for 18 months if you don't submit
regardless.
To it. Yes. So it's best to just say yes. Okay. When they say, can we, give us where we want your blood to see if you're impaired. And then you have to request a driver's license hearing, which is a whole nother issue. Right. But that way you're not going to get your license revoked for 18 months. Most people can't function without a license for 18 months.
No, of course not.
If there is a suspension for a first-time DUI, it's 120 days. That's a lot more manageable if it happens than 18 months.
Right.
Hopefully,
none of it's convenient. So let's say you do get put into a situation like this where you're driving impaired and you didn't know that your medications would make you impaired, or maybe you were out too late on a Friday night and you made a bad decision and got behind the wheel, or even if you got or accused of a crime that you didn't commit. What is the step after that? Who do we contact, and what does your firm do for people like that and that are in that situation?
So you call us.
Okay.
You need an attorney.
888 Zabriskie. Listen up.
888 Zabriskie.